Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley Percocet, represent, gotta represent, chase a chick, never chase a.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Kiera.
This is Leah.
This is Solo.
You're listening to He Said, We Said. What's going on over here?
I'm sorry.
The mic in your way.
Well, I didn't adjust it prior to, and it just hit me.
Okay,
I'm
all
right. For
what? Welcome.
Welcome.
It's a beautiful day outside. It's officially spring. Today's the first day of spring, you guys.
I think.
Is it?
Is it? I thought it was. Yes.
You know what?
Today.
I heard somebody say that today was the first day of spring. And I ran with it. I didn't bother to fact check.
It could have been me reading it.
It is the first day of spring.
It could have been me reading it and thought it was last night.
Okay. All right. I know a few birthdays today. Shout out to my sister Brady. Today is her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
I know. So, do you guys have any springtime plans? What's the goal for this season?
This season, you know what? Shout out to my friend Brooklyn. Just had a baby shower this week. So it's a lot of babies coming.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Geez. It's a lot of babies, actually. Now that I think about it, I probably have like 3 or 4 within the next month. So,
wow.
When I say I mean friends.
Friends.
In my immediate circle that are having kids within the next month. Outside of that, I don't think I have much going on. We're about to travel.
Oh yeah,
we need to get ready for that.
Philly.
Yes, Motown, Philly.
Oh, you're talking about another trip.
Yes.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, what trip you? Let's talk about it. What trip you going on?
I have to go to Denver, so I'll be in Denver next week. So I'm excited.
That sounds fun. Is it work? Is it pleasure?
Both.
Okay.
Just kidding. It's work.
Oh, okay. All right. Denver's a good time.
I know, but we haven't been I say myself, but I haven't been since, I don't remember what year that was. It was like 18 or 19 or something like that. That was my last time going to Denver. And I really liked it, but it was fall. So, fall in Denver, it might as well be the heart of Houston winter here.
Y'all are so dramatic. I was there at the same time as you, and It was beautiful. It was like perfect. It was like 50s. It was muggy.
Yeah, it was muggy.
Or not muggy, but yeah.
The weather wasn't ideal for me. I would have rather just snow versus it was icy everywhere and we were trying to navigate the mountains in the fall.
Okay, see, I didn't see ice. Maybe you were up in the mountains a little more.
We did.
Than me.
We went up to the mountains, or we tried to go up there. And so, it was cool, and yeah, that was the thing. But I would say 50s here, and wet reminds me of Houston winter versus whatever it would be now. I'm hoping it's not like that.
Yeah, hopefully it's really nice and springy.
Yes, so I'm excited.
Okay, well, we are going to Philly in a few weeks. Solomon just so happens to also be going to Philly the same time that we're going to be there.
Who would have thought, man? Just pure coincidence. So,
is it?
Well, the location was a coincidence, but the dates happen to be purposely aligned. So I'm ready for it though.
An adult spring break. I think it'll be one for the books.
Yes, because everybody else was on spring break this past week.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The teachers was out.
Teachers are out. I had a lot of colleagues that were out, and it was quiet in the office, and I was like, it is really quiet today. And then I realized a good chunk of the people took off, I guess, to be with their kids.
And it just made me think, you know what? It is. We were joking about this adult spring break, but now I'm about to line it up.
No, straight
up. With the real one.
Straight up. Last thing on spring break, are we completely out of being able to see stuff happening, I guess, in Florida specifically? I know that's a big spring break place, but I haven't seen anything on my timeline of
young kids,
Daytona or wherever the kids would go, Panama, all that stuff.
City.
We are completely phased out of that now, I guess.
Are we? Or because I want to say they were doing it sometime during the pandemic. There was that video that was circulating. It was just during the pandemic.
But the difference was, it was during the pandemic. Look at the kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it's people just going out having a good time.
Right. I remember of course, 7-8 years ago on my stories, I'm actively seeing people that I know that are in these places. But now everyone is 30s.
Maybe phased out of that group. of individuals that would be at spring break. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, let's talk about some things that happened this week. First and foremost, Jussie is out of jail. That is Jussie Smollett. Just last week, 7 days ago, we were talking about him going to jail.
Starting his sentence, right?
Starting his sentencing. It seems like he is out on bail. I don't know how this works. Honestly, I thought once you go to jail, you go to jail. I didn't know that you could.
I ain't never heard of that.
Okay. Look.
I've never heard of making bail when you're sentenced.
Okay. So
Really?
I did not know this was a thing.
Because he was supposed to go to jail and then he was going to be on probation for 30 months.
Okay.
And I think in the video it said starting today would be your sentencing. I mean, you would serve your sentencing. So the fact that he's out of jail, what?
So basically he went to jail and then paid to get out?
That's what it seems like.
Sounds like some power shit.
Well, here's the thing, though. I thought it was interesting that people were going so hard in the paint for him. I'm talking Taraji P. Henson. I'm talking Tina Knowles Lawson. Samuel L. Jackson and his wife spoke out. There were quite a few people that had something to say, including his family, one brother in particular going very hard in the paint. And so maybe there were more people behind the scenes, but when you have power like that and you're able to maybe make some phone calls or whatever, maybe that's why he was able to get out the way that he was. It just seems very dramatic. Well, him and the I'm not suicidal and all this other stuff in the beginning, it seems very dramatic for him to be released just a few days later.
House arrest? What is it exactly?
He has to be, right? Like, you can't just be like, was it a mistake? Like, did they admit to it being too harsh of a sentencing? Like,
well, he is going to appeal, whatever. I don't know, legal jargon, whatever. So he is going to appeal, or his team is. And so I guess the assumption is that he's probably not going back to jail, that this is just it. I feel like at this point, I don't know if he'll be able to act again, but he definitely can sell a book.
What really oh Lord.
Yeah, if I did it, this is how I did it.
In my head, I was like, as soon as you say book on something like this, I'm like, look at OJ. Straight up. Setting trends.
Just write a book, get people to buy it, make your TV appearances or, circles and talk shows, whatever you got to do, and go on about your life, really. But there's no need to act anymore. To me. Who knows what he'll do, though?
Maybe he should do that first. Kind of change his image a little bit, and then he can get back to it.
So he's definitely still waiting the appeal. And
that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
I guess so. I think the issue is the duration of the time that it would take to do the appeal or something like that would have exceeded the amount of time spent in jail. And it's like, well, I've served the sentence, so it's like, what's the point of appealing if I've done the time? Something along that nature, but I don't know. I need to read it.
Well, when you appeal something, would that be so? Although he's out of jail, would that still appear on his record? And so him appealing it would remove it from the record? Is that how that works?
It depends on if you win the appeal.
Well, that's the goal.
As of right now, I mean, it would still be a conviction, but the chances of it being overturned or, after he goes through the appeal process is when,
okay,
it would show up as either not convicted or convicted.
Okay. I guess the story will continue to unfold.
It's been like
we're ready for closure.
A lot of twists and turns.
Tell me what's happening, and then low key, do I need the book because I need to know what happened?
I might.
I need to
borrow the book. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. I'll see if I can find a PDF or something somewhere. If someone I know buys it, see, hey, can I read it? So interesting. We'll see how that unfolds. Next up, the boy is back in town. And who is that boy? That boy is Tom Brady. He has, I guess a few months ago, he decided he was going to step back from playing and retire. And then he has announced that he is back. And he will be doing another season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So
we gave that man a farewell, man.
Gave him a farewell. They auctioned off the ball. I mean, I'm not mad at the dude that gave the ball back. The one who caught it or whatever, who was giving the ball. It's like, well, fuck it. I got that shit, even though it wasn't his last game. But whoever bid it for that ball.
Wasn't it like $500,000 or something like that?
Something like that. I know they're sick.
Yes. What do you mean? What do you mean you're going back? So it's gonna be another ball?
Guess he got a taste of that married life.
With the kids?
The retired married life.
That's the running joke.
With the kids.
Yeah. Absolutely the joke.
I saw the joke about something about helping with his kids' homework, and he was like, fuck that.
No, it's just a lot of jokes, though. It's like, you know what? This is enough time. It's enough quality time.
I mean, I get it. I would want to be up there.
You're pushing 50? But I guess if we really think about it, it's no different than anybody else who retires, right? It still would be considered an early retirement compared to where everybody else normally retires at, right?
What do people normally retire in the league?
Well, I mean, in comparison to everybody.
You're saying like adjusting, going to like regular life from work? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, being retired.
Child, let these people be off for a week with their kids. You heard all these parents complaining during the pandemic on how their kids were getting on their nerves. So, you know, for him, if he's been out the house majority of the year, there's a split, I guess, time during the year where he's like actively at home. But what, 9 months?
Yeah.
So that was the thing. He was probably at home. He was like, all right, this is good. But he was like, yo, this is not ending.
Right.
Did he not want it to end because he lost this year? Or is he really trying to end on top with one more Super Bowl? Like, when will you call it quits? Hopefully it won't be when you get hurt.
Hopefully not. I do not keep up with sports like that. And I definitely don't keep up with Tom Brady like that. But from what I've heard people say, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the fact that he wants to see if he can get one more win in. I wouldn't either. If I lost.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting storyline. You know, the NFL's got all the storylines.
I mean, if he comes back and wins the Super Bowl, I mean, it would kind of be like LeBron when he went to the Cavaliers and gave them their ring or whatever. So, I mean, this is definitely a lot more big because he stepped out of retirement, unlike a Jordan who retired and came back and wasn't really that good.
Well, Jordan retired the first time, came back and won the 3.
Okay.
And then he retired again. And it was like, well, you're 39, I think he came back. It was like, we didn't expect.
Is that when he was with the Wizards?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just happy to have Jordan back in the league. So I think that was just a win in itself.
Okay.
Nobody was really thinking.
How long was he out?
Jordan could win the ring. He retired after 98, came back in 2002, 03. So, yeah.
Okay.
I actually remember, now in real time, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And that being a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember being in high school.
Ooh, that was high school for you, huh?
It was high school. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I just vaguely remember that.
I vividly remember.
My ears were still a bit wet. No, I'm kidding.
But did y'all even know who Jordan was?
No, I knew who Jordan was at that point.
I don't know. What grade y'all was in? 5th? 4th?
I was in like 5th or 6th grade when that happened. Yeah.
Hey,
I wasn't high school. I wasn't senior year high school at that. Ooh, let's talk about
I wasn't a senior. Thank you.
I mean, basically,
this
I don't
is
know.
sophomore year.
Wait, but that's 03. When did you graduate?
I graduated 04. So it happened spring.
Was
it 03?
No,
was it spring or was it
fact
fall?
checker said 03.
Look, you said 03.
Well,
did you say the spring? Because why would it be the spring and not the fall?
I don't know.
What time basketball season
I felt like it was sophomore year though, you know.
Okay.
It's
I think when you get older, sometimes
time slips from you, you know. It's okay.
Get all the jokes in.
Look,
y'all right behind me, you know?
Yeah,
until the fact checks comes back, it was actually 02 in March.
2001.
Man,
okay.
Come on, man. I'm thinking he was looking.
Hold on.
Y'all not about
From
to do
now
my
on,
memory like
okay,
that. I was like a junior. I was like,
when y'all fact check, y'all gotta.
I was like junior.
Okay. All right, Solomon.
Woo.
All right, Solomon. That was you.
Ain't gone yet. Okay.
All right.
Still some airs of lucidity over here. All right.
Shout out to Tom. I guess this will make for an interesting NFL season.
Interesting.
I'm not keeping up with the Cowboys, but I've heard that we got some trouble.
Amari Cooper's gone.
Who else? Who's there? That's still there?
Dak is still there. Elliott.
Zeke.
Yeah.
Y'all got Gallup. Y'all got CeeDee Lamb. And who? Cedric Wilson. So y'all should be okay. Did y'all lose the tight end?
I don't know.
Okay, one quick thing. How long CeeDee Lamb been in the league?
That was the second year last year.
Okay, because I cannot get the image of him and his girl out of my head. You say
Wait,
that.
what's the
It's
image?
pandemic, so it's like that
Yes.
still seems like we're going on 2 years now.
What happened?
He was on with the phone.
Where she
At
was
the-
looking in the phone and he grabbed
Oh, okay.
So you say that, I was like, huh.
it.
I forgot
Okay.
that he plays for the Cowboys, but I did not forget.
That wasn't too long ago.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's move on. You know what? Let's just stay in the sports. We're in March Madness right now. Shout out to the Houston Cougars. They played on Friday and won. I did see that game. Playing, if I'm not
Right
mistaken,
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Right now.
And that should continue to unfold, hopefully in a positive way.
Yes, hopefully we do well. I did see TSU.
We won the play-in game,
Right?
but then we lost to Kansas.
Kansas, right? But I did see the mascot won. So the mascot
Was
was
that
having a
TSU?
dance off. Yeah, it was TSU versus right. Y'all came out with a win on something on that
Okay.
game. They were doing a dance off.
Was Kansas, is that an HBCU or?
No, that is University
Okay.
of Kansas in Lawrence.
Okay. So TSU, thankfully, y'all didn't
Yes.
get embarrassed by it.
Thankfully, because that actually would have been another clip. That would have been
Yeah.
that would have been an even more wild clip.
Okay,
but
so the
no,
Tiger
it
was
good.
getting down.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Whoever was there in the comments was like, he's definitely from Dallas.
Yeah, I was like, that was my thoughts. I was like, that's a Dallas person in that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everyone's like,
Okay.
we're not going to state the obvious, but he's from Dallas.
Okay.
Probably got a shag on.
Please stop. Okay, let's move on. We want to shout out LeBron James. He achieved a, I guess, accolade, goal, whatever. He's like the number 2 scorer now, right behind. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I was out a few days ago and having a conversation with a guy who told me that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest basketball player, and he's left out of the conversation. We typically, at this point, are just going back between like LeBron and Michael. Sometimes Magic will sprinkle in there, but he believes Kareem is the greatest of all time. What do you think about that, Solomon?
I mean, he definitely has the accolades, right? Like, he was that guy in high school. He was that guy at UCLA. I think they won so many games consecutively back to back when he was there. National championships. Then he gets to the league. He's got, 5 rings maybe? I think he's
Did he play
5.
for the Lakers?
Played for the Lakers. He had 1 ring with Milwaukee. I mean, so he's won everywhere he's been at. I think the issue is once we start, well, number one, it was so long ago. 'cause that's the case.
What, the
Everybody should be-
70s?
Yeah, he was in the 80s, the Showtime 80s, but yes, the late 70s,
Okay.
early, 80s. But
The Showtime
I think
80s.
once Jordan
I don't
hit
know what that means.
I don't
Showtime, that was
either.
with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Cooper, that 80s.
Maybe
Paula
I did know
Abdul.
that.
That 80s, yeah.
Because what we talking about?
that's what I know.
I was like, oh, Showtime. It was
But that was,
showing in the
right?
80s.
yeah, that was the Lakers in the 80s with the
Okay.
Celtics in the 80s with Bird in them.
Okay,
That
okay.
period. That
Okay.
was like a shift in the culture where basketball really started to gain popularity and notoriety for being like the sport.
And then Michael took it to the next level.
Michael took it to the
Because he
whole
came in
nother
the
global.
80s, right? The late 80s?
Late
if I'm not
80s,
mistaken.
but in the 90s it was like, okay, this is a global thing.
Okay.
And then he just made it universal. And then, Michael was like that first dude who wasn't a big.
yeah.
Kareem was 7 foot and all this shit. And not to knock.
Well,
the
how tall is
7-footers.
Michael?
Michael's 6'6".
That's not, I guess it's not basketball.
It's
One
not
size.
plays a
basketball,
guard,
right,
one
right.
plays center.
Okay.
Like, I mean, but nowadays, Kevin Durant 6'11", 6'10".
You know what? I don't know if we can take
Kevin
the
Durant's
fact
not
checks over
7'4".
there.
Look it
Nah,
up.
I don't know.
I've seen Kevin Durant. He's not 7
He's
foot.
6'10". He's 6'10". Okay.
But either way, that dude can play like a guard, But back
Okay.
then, if you were 7 foot, you were down low in the middle, in the center, back to the basket, hook shot, whatever. But I mean, if he wants to argue Kareem, nobody's gonna argue that. I mean, he has the most points in league history. But
We'll see.
Ask how many people who their favorite basketball player was. You're going to get more Mike than you get Kareem. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sure. Okay.
But it sounds like a fair argument.
It does seem like it's a fair argument there. All right. Well, we'll also give a quick shout out to y'all's boy, Deshaun Watson. He just signed a very, very hefty contract with the Cleveland Browns. He also just, I guess, won a scandal. Is that the right way to phrase
the
it?
criminal charges.
Criminal charge. Okay.
The civil ones are still pending.
Okay.
So,
well, actually, let's not congratulate him too soon.
Yeah, that was the whole issue with this week. It was like the issue was, despite the civil investigation still going on and pending, once the criminal charges dropped, everybody was like, "Fuck it, we're bidding for Deshaun."
Okay.
Why is that?
Like, I don't know. The league just doesn't really press that much. I mean, put that much emphasis on a conviction in the civil matter as opposed to the criminal.
Well,
and,
honestly,
if somebody can help your team win, then fuck it.
If the NFL wasn't already in the hot seat with stuff like this, because, they have turned a blind eye to a lot of like domestic violence, etc. So I'm curious if that had not already been a thing. I wonder if he still would have gotten signed, even with the criminal charges.
What would have been a thing?
Like excuse me. So like, I don't know. People have talked a lot about the NFL, like just still allowing players to play, although they have like criminal stuff pending and whatnot. So I think my hypothesis would be that they're a little bit more like conscious about that.
Yeah.
And so it wouldn't be a good look for any team to try to actively sign him with that stuff still pending. So since the criminal ones are now dropped, to your point, them flocking like, okay, let's get him now.
Exactly.
We don't care what happens on the civil side as long as he's not like legally convicted.
Because with the criminal, I'm guessing you would go to jail. And so it's like, what's the point?
Okay.
Okay, so that's the difference.
So it's not a moral thing or ethic thing.
Who's to know? He might settle.
Okay.
But the league would probably, the most that they probably would do is suspend him some games. Or maybe even half a season or something like that. But at least with criminal, he might
be gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Interesting.
But,
that whole thing still doesn't sit right with me. I need to know what happened.
I know. I mean, it's like you kind of want to, you really don't know which way to lean, but it all just seems kind of sketchy because it's like, me personally, if I have a masseuse, right, and they're good, right, why not use the same masseuse? Why are you using
Clearly something
20
suspect was
different
happening.
masseuses?
Something has to be happening for him to have so many. But it also was just weird. Like, a lot of people weren't saying much about it. Like, I don't know. It kind of just went dark for a minute. And it came at a time of like all this back and forth with him and the Texans and him trying to get out. And it was just like, what?
Yeah. It's just weird. The only person that knows is between him, the strippers. I mean, not strippers, the masseuse and God. So.
All
On
right.
another note, bye, Carlos Correa. It was fun. But
People are
Astros-
mad about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Houston. God damn. It's hard.
Maybe
being
give
a
us
Houston
another
fan.
couple years. Yeah, give us another couple years.
Yeah.
At this point, we riding with the school. Go U of A.
Go Cougars.
Go Cougs.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what? One thing I need to bring up. I was supposed to see Chris Brown last night.
Oh, that was last night?
last night?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, me soda.
Oh, me a Coke. Yeah.
I was so excited. I was gonna see Monica.
Uh-huh.
And
She was at the same concert?
Yeah, it was Monica and Chris Brown and
Oh.
friends.
Oh.
So I was
Who's
like,
her friend?
I don't know. I was gonna go with Kayla. So shout out to Kayla. So we were talking about it throughout the day. I'll say we did not buy tickets until that morning. And I was like, okay, for real, I'm gonna go. All right. So around 4:00, I get a screenshot from her and I see it and I'm like, what is this? Chris Brown posted to his story, sorry, Houston, I won't be performing.
No explanation. But Monica's
None.
performing.
Well, we don't know. So a couple hours later, they finally say that the concert is canceled. So Chris Brown, was that the method of letting everybody know? Because it was just canceled.
No explanation, no
I have
nothing?
not heard an explanation just yet. It was, I won't be able to perform and Houston will be on my broader tour coming soon.
Boy, Usher would never.
A lot of people would never. And now I'm like, oh, I don't ever have to see you again. Thank God I already saw you. But like, what's the explanation?
Yeah,
so
because it's not
unprofessional.
COVID anymore. what really is the reason?
Or even if it is
Give me the
COVID,
day
like
before.
you need to tell me. Jasmine Sullivan had to cancel a whole bunch of shows due to COVID, which I know people were upset, but I mean, she explained it. I'm sure she'll try to make it up to the fans by coming, to these places again. But Chris, what?
I think hers was still late. It wasn't as late as a few hours before.
Yeah.
Her concert was supposed to start at, I think, 8 or 8:30
Niggas
or something
already on
like
the way,
that.
huh?
People was probably already getting ready.
Or
To his
could you
music,
imagine
right?
the people
Yeah.
who traveled here?
Because
For
people
the
travel for a
show?
concert. Yes.
That would have pissed me off.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Well,
Monica, what's up? What happened? 'Cause I know
yeah,
you'll
spill
tell
the
truth.
tea. Spill the tea. Let me find out Chris was at the address, though.
Let me find
wherever
out
else.
Chris was having a
Spending
good
good time
time
with
the
his
night
daughter.
before.
With his daughter. That's the way. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, maybe parenthood called.
Well,
Sure.
you know what? I think his child's mom is from Houston. I think the kid does live here. You might be onto something.
I didn't think that she lived here. I knew her mom was from here. No. I'm saying I did not know. I knew that she was from here. I didn't know that she still lived here.
I was under the impression that she still lives here, but she may not. Maybe she just visits here a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very, very interesting. I want to know what that's about. We being Solomon and I, would love to go to the Tyler, the Creator concert. So if anyone here is listening and you just so happen to want to sell your ticket for the Houston show, holla at us.
When is it?
It is March 27th.
I think I'll do a bill. That's
You
my
spent
cutoff.
$100 to see
That's my
Tyler?
cutoff.
Like with the taxes and everything, or bill first?
Taxes and everything.
Oh, well, good luck.
Dang, I didn't know he was that
maybe
pricey.
the day of though.
Well, we messed
Day
up.
of?
I do not play when it comes to tickets. Tell me
Y'all
when the
have been
sell
talking
date
about this,
is.
yeah.
When is it going to drop? That's when you get your tickets. You never wait past that because everyone's going to resell them at double the price, right? So there was one honest person who looks like they're really just trying to get rid of their ticket. They're selling it for $65, which is probably how much they got it for. I mean, maybe he went with the group and he's no longer able to go. And so that's why he's selling his. I don't know. But everything else, I'm seeing 130, 140. And I'm talking
Where
for
is it?
nosebleeds. It's at Toyota.
Toyota.
Wow.
He's
Right.
gone from
He is
warehouse.
sold out. He only has a few tickets
Toyota.
left that people were trying to resell.
Him. I didn't know he was that popular.
Yes. And I'm really sick that we're going to miss this because we were talking about this for a while, but we've been playing games. So
Yeah, I think so. Because I feel like I remember this. And I remember thinking like, dang, again, I'm not that big of a fan.
Really?
No.
well, you know who also is not that big of a fan? That's Oprah and Lee Daniels with Monique. And 50 Cent is trying to change that. So 50 Cent
What are
is
they doing to her?
He's on a campaign to try to get Monique, I guess, back into, I don't know, popularity or respect, whatever. Apparently, he was watching one of her stand-ups and was like, you know what, Monique is actually really funny.
That's what
What
50 Cent
happened?
said?
I'm paraphrasing, but yes,
50.
Yes. So he is determined to get her back out there. So for those of you guys listening who may not be familiar with the story, about 15 or so years ago, Monique was blackballed from Hollywood because of Oprah, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, really. She claims that they conspired to get her barred, and it worked out in her favor. I mean, she's been doing things here and there, but she definitely does not have the career that someone should have after her success.
started.
Right. She got an Oscar, didn't she?
Especially, Precious, man. It was like you thought that was gonna.
Yes. They said she was difficult to work with.
I remember that.
Her
that
husband,
story.
yes, that he was difficult and
Now, he
that they were
wasn't doing her no
disrespectful.
favors.
Well,
But only they know what was really going on.
That's
behind
so
the scenes.
wild. I do remember that. But I guess if you think about her career, it's like, dang, she was kind of moving in the
She
early
was.
2000s. Like, she had a lot going on. And I remember BET, she was the host for so many years. And it got to a point where it's like, I don't mind it. She's not doing a bad job.
yeah. No, she was killing it. I mean, the first time I had heard of Monique was due to the Parkers. I know she had been doing the stand-up thing prior to that, but my introduction to her was from the Parkers. And then from there, she had some movies. She did stand-up specials.
Soul Plane, I remember her.
She did a lot of stuff.
She did a lot.
She was everywhere
Queens
in
of
that
Comedy,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was killing it. And so Precious, when that came along, although it started off as kind of like an indie film, it kind of took off, helped Gabrielle Sidibe, I think that's her name. Of course, Monique. I remember Mariah Carey was in there, and that was a thing because she didn't have on any makeup in the film. They're like, oh, she looks like a regular person, whatever. And, you know, Oprah definitely helped with that movie and its broadness or whatever. And so somewhere along the lines, I guess, personalities just were not meshing. And so, yeah, Monique claims that they barred her. So Tyler Perry spoke out recently. 50 Cent said that he had a conversation with Tyler, and Tyler did admit to apologizing to Monique. He said he can't speak for Oprah, but you know, he was sorry that things happened. Yeah. 50 is saying they need to apologize though, that Lee and Oprah need to apologize to Monique.
I mean, they should. At this point, I think it's kind of clear that something happened, something was spread, something tainted her image in the minds of people that matter. And so it's like, if you were the root of that, maybe own up to it after all these years.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think too, though, I don't know if I personally want an apology from somebody if I have to ask for it.
I don't think Monique would. I don't know if Monique is really just like, like, no. I would imagine that she's over it. The videos that I've seen from her, it feels like she's kind of like living life, make the best of life, do what you got to do. I'm going to put y'all on game, but I'm living my life and enjoying it. That's how it feels.
That's how it seems. Now, I don't agree with a lot of what Monique says, but I do agree that, you know, at the end of the day, it is pretty messed up to blackball somebody from an industry on some ego stuff. I mean, I don't even know if it's ego, but it seems to me if you just didn't like the way that she was getting down behind the scenes with, you know, her husband or whatever, them being difficult to work with, painting that picture on a Black woman is definitely detrimental. So yeah, it's pretty messed up. If that is indeed factual.
You know, I wonder if it's something to where it's like Oprah and Lee are probably like, but it's true.
Oprah for sure. Look, I can't speak for Lee. Oprah is not about to apologize to Monique.
I don't think either one of them will. Like, I don't think, no matter what 50 Cent says.
Yeah.
50
and I mean, 50, can't you give her an opportunity or something?
I could see Oprah doing a sit down now. I could see her inviting her out to Santa Monica at her beautiful home and having a conversation with her in not Santa Monica, Santa Barbara. And yeah, they're just being a clear the air, but I don't see Oprah apologizing. And really the sit down interview would be a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that, but I don't know.
Ratings, I don't know.
You know, I'll
put it on no.
I'll apologize.
Oh no,
you know.
I don't even see that. It would have to get really big for Oprah to address it. Right now, it's kind of like mumbles amongst us. Mumbles.
Yeah, she ain't gonna do it. She ain't
Oprah probably ain't even paying attention.
Somebody told her.
No,
Gail
she
told
knows.
her.
She knows. Yeah. Yeah, she knows. Gail actually just did an interview with somebody. I hate to even have brought it up because I can't remember who it was, but it seemed like it was going to be good. I need to look that up. And maybe if I can find it, we can talk about it later. But shout out to Oprah and Gail. I know y'all don't like them. Not y'all, but the people.
I was like, since when?
No, a lot of people do not mess with
the
Oprah.
friendship or just Oprah?
Oprah and Gail, I guess to a certain extent, because of Gail's interview with R. Kelly, people who are big on R. Kelly being an innocent man are just like, why Gail? I think too, Gail's interview that she did with Kobe, was it Lisa Leslie? Remember a couple years ago, she asked some questions and they thought it was
talking about
insensitive.
Kobe
yeah.
Bringing up that shit.
There's been
about the rape. And,
right.
Yeah.
There's been a few things. And then with Oprah, there was the Michael Jackson thing with the accusers. And I think there was something else. Oprah and Russell Simmons. You know, people just feel like Oprah is, I guess, stirring the pot. Yeah.
Will Smith?
Yes, it was Will Smith.
Yeah.
It was Will Smith. And she asked him about the infidelities in their relationship, and Will let it be known that they do not have any infidelities, that their marriage has never been along those lines. And I guess if you read between the lines, it's because they have an open marriage. So they communicate about, hey, I want to pursue something with this person. And it's just mutually understood that that's what it is. That was me reading between the lines of the interview.
I mean, that was everybody reading it, though, because I did see that clip. And I remember thinking, like, Will, thank you for confirming that y'all have been good with it, whatever it is that y'all do in y'all relationship, and you don't consider it infidelity.
Yeah.
That's all it was to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Really quick, while we're talking kind of on some random stuff, Kanye was banned from the Grammys. So we'll see if he still shows up.
How did they do that?
Because they blamed his behavior online. And so they do not want him to be at the Grammys, which I totally understand.
Understandable.
Is it because that he did, however he released that music, and it wasn't eligible for, I guess, Grammy nominations, and so is that him?
But I don't think
something?
they would ban him because
No. Was he acting out because of that, and that led to the ban?
I don't know. I was under the impression that it had nothing to do with his music and everything to do with how he's been talking about Kim and Pete.
Kim.
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, not even just Kim, but like you made a video that is showing your ex-wife's current boyfriend getting buried alive. You've been making all these weird statements, So I think it's more that.
Wow.
Not necessarily like the music or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So they told him don't show up. So we'll see if he listens or not.
Why would he show up? I mean, please don't.
Why would he move next door to his? I mean,
he's why would he show up with the band?
Huh?
Is that what you're saying?
Like you're banned from there. Like, do you really want to have that kind of controversy? Like, do you really want to be that controversial?
Nah.
Well, he
Security
pulled
would
up.
probably be ready.
There's been a few things with the Grammys. He ruined a moment for Taylor.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, he is nominated this year.
Oh, he is.
Yes, Donda.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, he's had a pretty good year.
It's not like it's a down year where he's not expecting an award.
So I'm assuming that he's not going. If he gets an award, it's not going to be televised.
So you think
Donda's televised? Somebody will be there to accept it in his
No,
place.
I don't think that's gonna. This is me with my tinfoil hat on.
You can't do that because if the other artists on that category.
No. Trust me on this one. Actually,
so best rap album, we're just not going to televise that.
No. They will televise it. He's just not going to win it. I'm saying the awards that he wins, they won't televise it. So he will be nominated, and we'll see it. I don't think that the ones that they air, I don't think he's going to win the award. There's all kinds of stuff with the Grammys.
Somebody will be like, Kanye couldn't be here tonight, but I'm going to accept it in his presence.
I think that's normally what would happen, right? But just speculating.
Being banned, you didn't win.
So I don't think that they're going to give him an award that they're going to televise.
If we banned you, I'm not going to let you win it.
Straight up. You think you about to get best rapper of the year or
I'm gonna
best rap
ban
album?
you and you gonna rack up 4 and I gotta send them to you? No.
I mean, I'd be done with
you lost.
Like, so he'll get maybe for a producer or something like that, the ones that they don't really show. Yeah, he may get an award, but my hypothesis is that they are not, or prediction, they're not going to televise the award.
Despite
that he
the
wins.
ban, you think he would win an award for Donda?
I don't think he should, but there's a group of audience out there that just believes that was the best rap album.
That's true. That is true.
Okay.
I will say too, the Grammys is very political. So they know that there are certain artists that they at least have to nominate in order to continue to get their support. So for instance,
you gotta appease the big labels too.
Beyonce, there's been plenty of things. She still has yet to get either album of the year or song. It's one of those big ones that she hasn't gotten right. But they still continue to nominate her. There was a time she had kind of banned the Grammys. If I'm not mistaken, I think last year may have been her first time reappearing at the Grammys in some years. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, when you have that kind of power, they had to at least nominate Kanye so that he could maybe be open to performing maybe next year or something, something like that. If they did not nominate him at all, he would have had a problem. And he probably would have been on some.
He would have been speaking out
I'm not
for
messing with
real.
y'all. Yeah. Because when you have these people perform, it helps with the ratings and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely like political for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. Hey, welcome back. We are going to start with our verses. And since we're talking about music, we figured we keep it light and fun and talk about a song that you would have liked to witness in the studio. So is there a song that you can think of that you would have loved to see it be put together in the studio?
Okay, so I'm going to have to be a child.
Okay.
And think back to, I'm not gonna be like Solomon and get my years messed up, but just when I was younger, and when I saw Shorty Like Mine.
Okay.
So when Shorty Like Mine came out,
I was not expecting that answer.
I was not neither. But.
Okay.
In my head, I really enjoyed. It looked fun, or the video looked fun. Was Omar in that? I don't remember. But Chris Brown and Bow Wow, at least, kind of, it looked like it was something. I was like, oh, they probably had a good time kind of recording this. I said I was going to be a child. What were y'all expecting?
I'm not mad at that.
Was it? In my head, I said Jermaine Dupri, but that might not be right.
That does sound like a Jermaine Dupri
It feels
kind
like a
of
JD
song. Yeah. I used to love that song too, though. I had to look that up.
I just thought it was fun. And I remember liking both of them. I don't know if I had, obviously Bow Wow, I was younger, so I probably had more of a crush on Bow Wow than Chris Brown. I felt like Chris Brown he's my age, or he looks like a regular guy, but he just looked fun. He was fun at the time.
Yeah. JD did produce that, by the way.
Okay.
You're right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
I would have to think hard on something else though.
I think so. I have two ways of going with it. Like the actual creation of a song, I would love to be in the studio for like a Pharrell song, or even like a Timbaland, Missy Elliott produced song. Like I feel like they probably had a lot of fun in the studio, like literally starting from scratch with some beats and then working your way up to some melodies and figuring out lyrics, like maybe somebody from that camp or a Pharrell song for sure. And then of course, Mariah Carey, like Butterfly, if I could have been in the studio for that, or Honey, or like Breakdown, just hearing them vocals, like I could only imagine like
the
her just
weeds
singing.
flowing,
Yes.
bring the girls in.
Okay,
Wait, the what?
Not with
Both
Mariah.
the harmony was there.
Okay.
Nah, come on now.
I don't
Both
know
sides of
what I
harmony
thought
was
you said, but I was
there.
like, yeah. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what
You
you
gotta
say?
set the mood. You gotta set the mood. The ambience. Obviously, there's gonna
Although
be people in
she
the
be smoking,
background.
too.
There's gonna, well, at least that's what I was thinking when I was thinking about mine. I was like, it could go one or two ways, right?
Okay, so who was yours?
I was definitely thinking I'd want to
T.I.?
be in the. No, while you playing, I was thinking being in the studio for like Jodeci.
Oh,
Okay.
so you just trying to have sex?
No. Just, well, no,
freaking
I mean, I
studio.
really wanted to just maybe see that first album, or maybe even Diary of a Mad Band, but just seeing Devontae really start, curating all these sounds and productions for that album, and just seeing what the dynamics of the group really was like. Who was beefing? Who was fucking around? Who was the late nigga? Was he on coke? was
residue all
what was going on?
Yeah,
I just want to know.
Oh, that would be good. Okay.
So, and then there's actually laying the track down, right? So when you have to actually get in the booth and the vocals, who wrote the lyrics, like I'm all into the whole experience of just wanting to know what went into curating that album or that song or that single.
Okay.
Jodeci was one, but then I also was like, I wouldn't mind being there for that Michael Jackson Thriller album or something like that.
Oh, that's
Quincy
actually a
Jones.
really good
know?
one. That's a good one.
But
Okay. Yeah. What was the vibes like with that?
what were the vibes like with that?
I feel like Michael, and maybe even Quincy would be like a perfectionist. So it's like that was a good run. You don't have to do it again. No, let me do it one more
over
time.
and
Like,
over. All right, we're gonna record over that.
Right.
And then you got the old technology back then, so it's really
I feel like when you were kind of getting into that, I'm
Mhm.
going to go way, way, way back to whenever they tried to portray Ray. and like him recording all that stuff, and just thinking
yeah.
about the instruments that they had to bring in,
Yeah.
because they did not have what we have today. So like whatever they're doing now, that's why, I mean, you really can't say like a super recent song because they probably weren't even together. They probably weren't like really kind of vibing off each other. But back then it's like, nah, I mean, you got to be here.
Yeah.
You gotta be there.
You gotta be there.
Time, you know, the shit costs money.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, how fun.
Dang,
I would love
I
that.
keep thinking, but
I know.
That's why I didn't want to do it on the spot, but Jodeci was like if I really
That's
couldn't
a good
think of
one.
anything, you know?
Whitney Houston too, low key. Now, what was going on in the studio for real?
Yeah.
Especially when Bobby came around. You know, it's probably cutting up though. It probably was fun, but it's just like Whitney. This is you've had a few bathroom breaks now. What's going on?
What's just the whole process? Because I think, and I can't remember which artist it was, but it was like they had to make sure that the shit jammed in the car, so they would take the shit from there to the car to be like, all right, this motherfucker's right now, you know, with the engineering and mixing and mastering of it. So
look, that's a good point, because even when I get a new song, I'm gonna wait to listen to it.
Right? Like,
So
okay, well, that was fun. That was fun. If you guys like what you heard, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on social media at He Said, We